Hello, masterminds, and welcome to part three, episode three in our series about sales strategies and market diversification. Last week, if you recall, or last month, we went segment hunting. And today we're going to talk about how to plan your next move. So let's pick up where we left off last time on our summary. We talked about having or pursuing if there was a natural extension from your current business and capabilities. We talked about getting answers from your existing clients. So we're going to go into a little detail about that today. We mentioned briefly about having a good GPS, someone to help you who understands the market or the applications that you're looking at. A reminder to bring your brand and your style into any new business opportunities you pursue, because usually people will buy from you because of who you are and how you work with them, as opposed to what you print for them and how you print for them. And then last, I added a new one here that we're really going to focus on today, and that's to develop a plan starting by staying close to home with your existing clients. So let's take a look at that. I mentioned about getting the answers to the test. If we, as business people, if we knew the answers, decisions would be a lot easier. So we have to try and proceed and find those answers. And of course, the answers to what our clients want and our prospects want are with them, right? So we have to find a way to bring it out from them because they do have the answers. And so, nothing unusual about that. We want to enter into some type of friendly, somewhat open ended dialogue with them so that they're willing to share some of those thoughts with us and we don't sound like or it doesn't sound like an interrogation and we don't sound like interrogators, right? We don't want to do that. But one important mantra or business fundamental that's important to think about before we start looking at some of the ways to do this is that every single interaction with our clients is an opportunity to learn something, whether it's a transaction, whether it's a complaint, whether it's a compliment, whether it's a phone call, an email, a text, it doesn't matter. Everyone gives us some window into something that they are signaling to us to help us be a good service provider for them. So, keeping that in mind, let's go over the basics. What are the most common ways that you communicate with your clients today? And we all know some people like email, some people like phone calls, some people like text, some people like Zoom or team calls, some people still actually like meeting face to face. And it's probably some combination for each different client for all of you. That's not unusual. But what does each one respond best to? We know some people never read their emails, don't answer their phone, or never take meetings in person. And some people are the exact opposite, and that is what they respond to. So you tend to know that over time, and it's something to keep in mind. We're going to keep in the back of our mind as we start to plan these things out. What is something that they always pay attention to? So I'm just going to give a little hint here, and it always has something to do with money. And so the purpose of today's session is really to develop a small and simple plan to diversify your business and starting from within the community of clients that you're already doing business with. I mean, this is your own DIY micro marketing. This is your plan, your do it yourself. It's not a big marketing step. This is just to help understand what the opportunities are that are in front of you, even before you develop your specific plans. So, knowing that every client is different, where do we start, right? So, we were talking here about getting the answers, getting information from our clients. So, one way that seems to be and typically is very helpful is to develop a very simple questionnaire. So, one absolute that I include for how to implement a questionnaire is include it with their invoice, whether it's electronic or print or both, because you know that somebody is going to see it and pay attention to it there. Now, it may or may not be the right person, and it may or may not get to the right person, but you can help guide that along as well too. So doesn't mean invoice is the only way. Obviously, other ways would be to put it on your email signature, develop a QR code that brings them to your website where they can answer the questions and give you the feedback directly. You can have a virtual meeting with them, or just go and speak with them verbally without even providing a printed or a digital questionnaire. But whatever it is, the most important thing is to follow through on that. And my suggestion is offer a small, modest gift card to return the favor for their efforts. And if you think about it, if you get 25 or 50 or even 100 responses, it's real market data at a very modest cost to get market research on your client base, and hopefully to lead you into an opportunity that would give a very immediate payback for something like that. So that's a kind of a general approach to it. Now let's talk about what could be some of the specific examples that we could be looking for. So again, these are just examples, but for example, if they're buying signage or wide format, do they also buy stickers or do they also buy labels? Very likely. If they're buying direct mail, do they know and do they buy promotional magnets to improve the opening rate of the letter and improve response rates, right? This is a well documented application. Is this something that they're doing today? If they're buying marketing collateral from you, are they also buying branded merchandise from somebody? Most likely, yes. If they're buying event related print, are they doing direct mail to help promote that event? Maybe that's something that you can do to help them. Maybe somebody like Tom Barnes can help you as well too. If they're an online retailer, are their items being shipped without branded packaging or without branded labels? These are just some ideas to get a dialogue started, find out something specific. You can either find out other print that they're buying this way. Of course, the next question is how would they feel about doing business with you, or if you were able to provide that service. And if they're not doing it, it could be an educational opportunity to bring something new to them that could be new print business for you. So I'm sure many people ask, well, why do we even need to do this at all? I mean, it's hard enough to just respond and keep up with our existing clients and deal with the business and the file problems and everything else that goes along with being in the print business. And that's understandable. But the reality is, if you're not asking your clients these questions, somebody else will be. And certainly, as a business owner, the safest thing, the most important thing to do is not to have a high attrition rate, is to have a high retainer rate of your existing clients, because it's too costly and too big an investment to continue to find and bring in new clients. So we want to stay ahead in that equation. And by asking these types of questions and being in this type of dialogue is one way of finding out what's going on, finding out if there's competitive threat to your business, and also finding out what business opportunities exist within your current client base. In today's market, waiting is just not really a safe play. And if I tend to ask somebody, what are you waiting for? It's usually not a great answer. And that tends to resolve the issue in many cases right there. It's also really important to understand most clients will not ask us for something new or something different. They might be thinking about it, but they're not going to typically ask. That's our responsibility as a valued business provider, service provider, partner, to bring these opportunities to them, to bring them the knowledge, to help educate them, and then, of course, ultimately to be the service provider for that. And thus, that way we both benefit. It's a win-win. So, how about let's take a quick summary of today on how to plan for our next step and what are the easiest things that we can do. Start simple. Ask some questions. If you do nothing besides that, if you're not doing it already today, that's a great start. And that will get the ball rolling for you to have that type of dialogue and to find out where new opportunities are without having to hire new people or buy new equipment or do anything else, right? Just start small, stay condensed, stay close to home with your existing clients. If they're paying you to do something today, the odds of them paying you to do something else is higher than it is for most other opportunities. So we want to start there because that's where we have the lowest amount of risk, right? Focus on your current capabilities first, extensions of what you're doing today. Yeah, there's a lot of new technology and capabilities out there, and sometimes Flash helps in attracting new clients or new opportunities, but this is a good, safe, sound way to, before you make that type of investment, to build your way towards it. Growth and market expansion should always start small. I mean, even for a larger company, be careful of looking for the big boulders or the biggest opportunities. Start small, start in your base, look for things that you can manage, and that will help you learn and also build up some level of growth and profitability on your way to whatever that next step might be. Now, none of these three or four things listed in the summary are uh, revelations or anything that most people don't already know or think about. The key to this is to do these types of things consistently as a process, not as an event. And that is a very common thing for small business owners: getting advice, trying it once, not continuing to do it. So if we can do this consistently, if you do a survey, do another one in 3 months, or do another one in 6 months, or do another one in a year's time, but consistently apply yourself to finding more about your clients, what they're doing, what they're interested in, and what are the ways that's going to allow you to continue to be a valued provider to them. Because if you do that, then you are now in a position to lead the change and not have the change leading you. And that's certainly the side of the equation that we want to be on. So that's it for today. Next month, we'll take a step out from being close to home, and we'll look at the new clients, new markets, new capabilities. We will talk about that and where and how to pursue them. So I want to thank you, everybody, and appreciate your time today. Look forward to seeing you next.